The Switch has had a lot of Mario games. We counted 67 5 months ago, and there have been substantially more announced since then. But in the grand scheme of mainline Mario, there's only really been 3 games to call its own. There's been Mario Wonder, Mario Odyssey, and Bowser's Fury. Now, granted, 3 games is more than most consoles get. 64 just had 1 with 64, GameCube just had 1 with Sunshine. I suppose the Wii had 3. Lucky little system. Had 2 Mario Galaxies and a new Super Mario Bros. And you know what? The Wii U technically had 3 as well, if you count New Super Luigi U, which... let's count it. Let's give it that. So what I'm trying to say is we're always hungry. We always want to be fed. What's a Bowser's Fury?
This one kinda gets left out of the conversation, as it's not really a full-fledged solo game, but it's still one of the most joy-filled games of the entire Switch era. Bowser's Fury was included in the Switch port of 3D World, and this was already the best Wii U port. I mean, Tropical Freeze added Funky Kong, Pokken DX made the character select screen not bug me anymore, Pikmin 3 Deluxe added full game co-op, and that was really cool. But 3D World had online play. It changed the entire pace of the game by making everyone faster. Even Peach, the slowest character in the Wii U game, is faster than what Toad was from Wii U. The Wii U gamepad functions have been given to all players, and the Captain Toad levels are now 4-player, so this is a much better co-op game than the Wii U version was, all while looking and playing considerably better. They also pulled photo mode and the dive straight from Odyssey, and the dive especially is a whole new layer that was never in the game before. 3D World on the Switch was already more than it needed to be. All it had to do was let a broader audience play 3D World, but it went above and beyond, and then it put another game in there too. Why did none of you do this? For many, 3D World was a brand new Mario game they never played before, but that didn't stop them going all out. From the get-go, the presentation of Bowser's Fury is off the charts, and there's a little callback to Sunshine in there. That's kinda cute. I just love taking the familiarity of the 3D World opening just to throw you into something else entirely. They sure took a lot from Odyssey. Bowser has never looked this cool. Granted, he did kinda look similar to this in Color Splash, but come on. Which of these two is just gonna flat out murder you? Before the official name of Fury Bowser, people were calling him Godslayer Bowser because they thought that was the translation. We should still call him Godslayer Bowser. Bowser Jr. of all people joins you for this journey, being afraid of what his dad's become, and while a second player can control him, it's more like a second player controlling Cappy in Odyssey. It's technically co-op, but this isn't really a multiplayer Mario game. Unlike 3D World, which essentially was a linear 2D Mario but with a Y-axis, Bowser's Fury is Sandbox Mario. This fits in with 64, Sunshine, and Odyssey, but arguably evolves beyond them. But the weirdest thing about being bundled with 3D World is it's built around 3D World. So they've taken the form of a linear Mario and built a Sandbox Mario on that foundation. They've changed a few things like unlocking full 360-degree movement, and it feels much better for this kind of gameplay. You've still got to hold the Y button to run, but you reach your top speed way faster. And of course, there's a free camera this time. It's a bizarre middle ground, making a kind of Frankenstein monster of a game. But all these 3D World elements work to their advantage, essentially making small platforming islands that, while more open to explore, have all the tightly designed fundamentals of a 3D World level. And that's where this middle ground control scheme actually really works. All of 3D World's power-ups are here too, which isn't something Sandbox Mario has ever embraced. And they're not really temporary here. You can stack them up and at any moment become whichever power-up you want. You're kinda expected to have them. Like this wall's meant to be climbed with Cat Mario, but unless I jump off the edge, the Boomerang Flower can get that shard. There's a contextual back and forth to the power-ups, and I really like it for this kind of design. It really feeds into the openness of how you want to approach these shines. It's just kinda crazy they did this. 3D World buckled when there were open environments. They tried a few times, and it was the worst the game ever looked. Let's make an open world with these tools. What are you talking about? Oh, this is lovely. You can feel the game's being pushed too far at times, and that's rather uncharacteristic of a first-party Nintendo game. It certainly doesn't have the clear resolution of 3D World, and sometimes it doesn't even run that well, especially during the Bowser sequences. When there's a bunch of effects on screen, it can halve the frame rate at times, just for a few seconds, but it is there. And this is one of the few Switch games where I'd outright just want to play docked and never touch handheld. Handheld is always running at 30 FPS, and while it's still playable that way, the game just feels better at 60. So taking the foundation of this and making this definitely had its shortcomings, but man, I cannot complain about the results. Plessy from 3D World's few waterslide levels is here. Apart from this time, she's a speedboat. You can fully travel from one island to the next with just ridiculous speed. I mean, you could swim if you want to, if you're a maniac. The option's there. But like, Plessy's a dinosaur. It's done in such a clever way too. You can jump off from the top of an island and straight into the water, and as you turn the camera, Plessy just kind of appears in a convenient place. There's no downtime. Bowser's Fury hates downtime. It wants downtime dead. There's so much to catch your eye at a single moment. Each island's got its own cat shine, but there's also 5 shards to collect to get another cat shine, but it's never just one island to see at once. You get so many opened up to you at a time, and when you come back to an older one, it's changed slightly to accommodate for an entirely new shine. And that's the really interesting part. 64 kind of worked this way too, but every time you got a star, you were booted back to the hub, and you had to go back in, so it wasn't seamless. And Odyssey tried to reimagine it to have a constant seamless nature, but the level never really changes. Bowser's Fury is again an incredible middle ground. It doesn't completely change levels, but this method keeps the variety way higher, never incentivizing you to stay on one island for too long, but always giving you something new to see and do as you move around the world. You're pushed to leave the island and go somewhere else every time, and the pacing is so much better for it. I mean, yeah, you could just run away a little bit and turn the camera and return, but it's so much more fun to just keep moving, island to island, shine to shine. This is really good stuff. I also love that lives are gone. The life system here is straight out of Odyssey. Odyssey punished you by taking coins away, and they were important for getting new costumes, but here, there aren't costumes, so what do coins do? Well, in Bowser's Fury, 100 coins nets you a new power-up, so while losing those coins isn't a huge punishment, you'd still rather not die. Nice looking water in this game. If Mario Wii U were British, he'd say, "Oh mate, nice looking water, innit?" There's so many ideas too. I mean, many are reimagined from 3D World, but with how much more freedom there is here, they feel brand new. You get a sense of verticality that wasn't possible in 3D World, and it really gives us a style of Mario platforming that has never been done before. Using those propeller blocks to ascend up a crazy tall tower, navigating those invisible platforms with a full 3D camera, skating down a rotating spike pit in a Goomba shoe. Those concepts are not new, but what they do with them is totally different. Chasing bunnies on foot is nowhere near as good as chasing bunnies on a turbocharged water dino. It's clearly a test or a blueprint for the future of 3D Mario, and it just works. Having everything laid out in a single open world without menus or interruption is an utter joy to play, and it's all lifted by one of Mario's best soundtracks ever. I mean, there aren't that many tracks, but how can you not jam to stuff like this? Now, Bowser is kind of the weakest part of the game. Don't get me wrong, it's an incredibly cool design, and I adore those giant fights where you literally battle on scaled-down versions of the entire world map, but his random timed appearances do get pretty tedious after a while. Like here, I've got enough shines to trigger the next Fury Bowser fight to open more of the world, but there's also some blocks hiding a shine that only Fury Bowser can break. So, do I just wait for him to appear? I don't want to forget where these blocks are. And even when he does appear, collecting the shine is going to get rid of Fury Bowser. So do I do the boss fight and get more levels? Do I open this brick wall and get the shine? There was also a time where I was trying to deliver a lost cat to its mum. And by the way, the trip for getting the cat over here is quite a beefy one. I'm not doing it again. And just as I was about to deliver the cat and get the shine, look who appears and turns the cats into little evil spirit dudes. I don't want you here, Fury Bowser. This is very bad timing. And look, I'm not going to go somewhere else and get another shine to get rid of him because I want to get this cat to its mum. I'm not doing that again. So my only choice here really is to just wait it out. Just wait for him to have enough and go. As silly as it sounds, the best way to play Bowser's Fury is with a Bowser amiibo at your side. This triggers him whenever you want and makes those Fury blocks especially way less inconvenient. Fury Bowser doesn't ruin the game. I mean, it adds a sense of dread at all times just seeing that shell pop out of the water, but it's really the only real blemish. To its credit, the game is usually quite intelligent about when he pops up. He never really appeared when I was deep into a platforming challenge, and I can't say with certainty, but I'm pretty sure it's designed that way. It would be very annoying if he just always showed up when you're trying to do something, and for the most part, it was just this cat thing. I just wanted to give the cat to its mum. Bowser Jr. is fine. You can turn off his AI, and honestly, that's quite an un-Nintendo thing. Options? But otherwise, there's not much for him to do, really. I guess it's kind of cool to play with someone just alongside you, even if it's not full-on co-op. Bowser's Fury is a taste of what's to come in the future. Getting the 50 shines needed to reach credits took me around 2 hours, and getting everything doesn't take a whole lot longer than that. Annoyingly, in the post-game, they flood your map with exactly where the shines are, and I'm not sure why they did that. They had a solution in Odyssey already with the hint toad. If you wanted that, it was there. If you didn't, you could ignore it. That kinda makes it even shorter, and it's a pretty short game already, but a very replayable one. Coming back to it now felt just as good as my first time with it. And the ending is so good. The final boss taking you all around the world, even if this design just Bowser glowing eyes is nowhere near as cool as Fury Bowser, but whatever. And then Plessy getting the giant cat bells and becoming a massive cat Plessy that crushes Bowser. It's insane. Love that little expression there. And for getting all the shines, Mario's cat form becomes a little more like his supersonic giga size, even though he's small and just regular cat Mario. And even Bowser Jr. gets the cat treatment. I don't like that. In fact, everything's a cat in this game. The birds are cats, the cheap are cats, the trees are cats. If Bowser were a cat, he'd be called Furry Bowser. Oh wait, that does exist. All 3D World ever did with the cat theme was introduce the power-up, but some poor developer at Nintendo all these years has been holding back a rage, wanting to go further with the cat theme, and they finally unleashed him in Bowser's Fury. You got your wish, developer. Everything's a cat. The ground is a cat. Is it the same guy who loves Goo? Zelda, Goo. Splatoon, Goo. Pokemon, Goodra. Odyssey never got DLC, and we've gone the entire generation expecting either that or a sequel. And to be honest, this is it. This is the Odyssey DLC. Just it was also 3D World's DLC. 3D World and Odyssey got busy and had a baby, that's what I'm trying to say. Despite 3D World being the base, I think there's so much more of Odyssey's influence lurking under here. And if you skip this release because maybe you've already played 3D World or something, I legitimately think you've missed out on a main Sandbox Mario. Yeah, it's a small one, but in terms of scale, it's the largest. Just imagine a more robust Bowser's Fury that's a bit more like Wind Waker's Great Sea. There really is potential for Mario to go open world while completely maintaining its focused, meticulously designed platforming set pieces, and if you doubt it, just play Bowser's Fury. There was a time where it seemed that 3D World would never come to the Switch. I mean, seriously, Nintendo did everything apart from bring this game to the Switch. Its spin-off, Captain Toad, got ported 3 years prior. 3D World was a mode in Mario Maker 2, 2 years prior. New Super Mario Bros. U of all things came to the Switch before 3D World, and that game still has a U in its name. It took its sweet-ass time, but they really did go all out with this game. Even if it didn't have Bowser's Fury, this would still be one of the most improved games on the platform, but with it, it's damn essential. The next 3D Mario is almost certainly launching with the next system, and it's going to be so interesting to see what it borrows from this game. I think it's totally fine for there to be a distinct difference between structured platforming Mario and more objective-based sandbox games, but there are so many good ideas in here, and I seriously think the next time we see Mario in 3D, that World Select screen or hub may be entirely gone in favor of this huge interconnected world. Maybe Plessy will fly this time.
When it comes down to it, Bowser's Fury may be the Switch's best Mario game. Now, I'm not one of those fellas who says, "Oh, Mario Odyssey, that's a bad game now," but this is just something so special, and I would do unspeakable things for a full game just like this. Unspeakable. We're talking weird stuff. I'll do it, Koizumi. There's no stopping me. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. We really appreciate any support we get. And if you want to, you can also support us over on Patreon. Patrons get early access to our bigger edited videos, including this one, so if you are a patron, you saw this in the past. Whoa!